We are live. Howdy to all the light workers, light warriors, and soul searchers out there. Thank you for joining us here live from Rythmia in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. And we have another beautiful interview ahead with this legend, Ken, who has been interviewed before by Jerry, and he's been here for 2 weeks this time. So I thought it would be so phenomenal to get him on to just explain about the integration and then the get in here again part, but being here for 2 weeks. So we'll get into that in just a moment. I just want to share a little bit about what's happened this week. It's been another beautiful, beautiful week here, sunny and hot, and just full of so much transformation. Some of the stories I can tell you, I took the closing talk this morning, and the shares were just so beautiful. There was a lady who throughout this week has been making extreme bird noises. Did you hear her? Well, she was very loud, and when we went over to her in ceremony, she actually looked like a bird. She morphed into this bird, and it was like she was talking and sharing her life troubles, and in the next breath she'd like squawk like this bird. And then the beautiful thing is we gave her healings and everything, and we actually found out that this spirit of this ancient bird that we could see in like the astral plane, had attached to her. And so we cleared it away. She had the most beautiful healings, and she said she feels so much lighter, and she looks lighter. She looks better looking and just less like a bird, which is so profound. She actually looks like a more human, angelic, beautiful, shiny self. So that was different. What else do we have? We had a lady share that she had been desperate to feel the labor feeling again and giving birth again, but being 41, she knew that, you know, her time was running out, and so every time she would have a period, she would mourn that she wasn't giving birth, and she'd constantly been going through this. And so on the medicine, she actually felt the contractions of birth again, and actually went through labor, the whole sensation, the feeling, the experience of labor, but she gave birth to herself. And she said it was the most glorious experience of her life, and she doesn't crave to give birth in the physical anymore. She said that was enough. She just needed to experience it and feel it, and now she's more in love with herself than ever before. So that was just another beautiful healing experience. It's been really profound this week. There was another lady who had suicidal thoughts, and she'd been thinking these things but wouldn't actually want to do it. She just said it kept popping into her head. And another success story is that she no longer thinks like that. She said that it's just not there anymore. That synapses, that neurological pathway just doesn't create those thoughts or have those voices coming into her head anymore. That's powerful stuff. Whether she was going to do it or not, still having that kind of shadow, heavy energy constantly plucking at you, it can't be pretty, it can't be nice. So very, very, very proud of her. And then there was this lady who was hard nut from Ireland, raised in an extremely tough family, and so was just finding it difficult to break free from her mind constantly telling her that she's not good enough, and leading her down a negative path all the time, thinking negativity. And she was not going to do the last couple of ceremonies, and I spent a good half an hour with her talking to her, and managed to talk her into coming to ceremony, because a lot of people, they get to the midweek and they're like, I can't face it anymore, I don't want to see anymore, or it's just not working for me. And so if you push through like this lady did, you will be gleaming. This lady is now glowing and happy and super excited to get out of here and integrate it into her life. So there's people from all walks of life with all different stories, different traumas, and we all come here and we just get on the same level of love and light, and just to know that you are a light worker, you are a light warrior. And all you need to do is puke and shit all that heavy energy out, let the medicine come in and heal you. Because you are a computer system with viruses, and you're coming in here with these viruses, the medicine is going in and she's defragging your whole system. So it feels confusing, it feels scary, it feels confronting, But then on the other side of that is the true motherboard rewiring. So we all get back to our pure self. And a prime example of this is that we used to have an aura machine here. So some of you that came a few years ago would know, you put your hand on this metallic plate and a photo would be taken of your aura. And everybody, 95+% would leave violet. And so this is somebody who wants to create a positive change in the world, a light worker or a light warrior. So when you come here, you don't just heal the physical body, you heal your light body, your energetical body, your emotional body. You heal on so many different levels, and you just get back to the pure frequency, the pure essence of your true self, which is your inner child, which is who you truly are meant to be before life shit got on top of you and other people's beliefs and society and all that stuff. It just gets you back to the truth of you, which is pure unconditional love. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about and you've never been to Rythmia, then I suggest you get Jerry's book, Shit the Moon Said, A Story of Sex, Drugs, and Ayahuasca, all about how this beautiful healing retreat center came to be. And it was because legend Jerry listened to the moon. The moon literally told him what to pay for this place, where to get it, what to do with it, not to make strip clubs in aviation centers, and to put his millions into this place to help people heal. And Jerry's a good student, and he followed and he listened. And even though when times got tough and he was writing checks for hundreds of thousands of dollars and had like 2 people here, he listened and he just kept at it because he knew that that was his mission. And it has been the best gift in my life. And I know so many other people. We've touched like 4,000 people's lives now, and really on the most profound level of transformation and healing. And we do this via plant medicine, ayahuasca, breath work, brilliant coaching talks with Paula, The Answer Is You, which is Michael Beckworth's teachings. I do talks, Jerry does talks, JJ does talks. There's lots of different tools here to help you integrate the energy that you get via the medicine and the downloads that you get from Mother Ayahuasca. Because the important thing to remember is she is a mother energy. So when you drink this sacred brew, she's coming in and she's teaching you lessons. She's giving you tough love. She's spanking you on the ass and showing you who you've become and where you've not been such a good little person, you know, when you've been naughty. And then she gives you epic hugs from a mother who truly loves you. And she just instills so much love and joy back into you, but with lots of downloads and lots of lessons. So all these other tools exterior to your plant medicine ceremonies can really help you to move forward with this newfound understanding, as well as the yoga, the meditation, the cleanses. We have colonics, so you can clean out your insides, clay, steam rooms, Meg's amazing organic food. It's just a lot going on here. It's just an all-in-one, like one-stop shop to heal. Literally like 20, 30 years of therapy in 1 week is waiting for you. So instead of paying thousands and thousands and thousands on therapy that doesn't necessarily get to the root cause of all your issues, spend your money here. Literally come to Rythmia. Call these people here in the Malibu office and book your next vacation, which is a little bit hard work, but it's worth it. And this legend is going to say all about how his hard work was worth it. Thank you so much for coming on. I know you had an epic interview with Jerry 8 months ago.
Yes.
So let's just start by asking, where were you at way back when? I would like to just like refresh. Where were you at in life that made you think, you know what, I'm listening to this calling ayahuasca stuff and I'm going to go and do it? What was going on for you back then?
Oh, thank you. Life was challenging. Like I think most people, you feel as though that there's something that's not right. There's something that's missing. There's something that's not always congealing in your life. So you go through, you know, a lot of frustration. You bounce around a lot. You don't get really clear answers. And I was at a point that I felt as though that I just wasn't satisfied, you know. And through life experiences and the dramatic experiences and stuff that I've been through, my life is a little bit of a parallel to Jerry.
Yeah.
I did most of everything that Jerry has done, with the exception of having his money. I had money, but nowhere near what Jerry had. So I created a lot of pain for myself. And so I was going from therapist to even a psychiatrist, trying to weave my way back to find some happiness. It wasn't very successful. It's a very long, drawn-out process. So I started on a spiritual path. So, you know, just being in spirit, and started doing yoga and then meditation and then traveling and going to retreats and doing all sorts of different things. And that was beautiful. That was all leading up to coming here, because I thought I did everything else. I was living in ashrams and monasteries and everything else. And then the next progression was, okay, what's next? So ayahuasca was next. And so I went looking around for a place to do ayahuasca. And I was prepared to go like really raw into the jungle and sleep on, you know, with snakes and vampires and everything else. But, you know, I talked my wife into coming as well too. And she says, well, if I'm going to go anywhere, it's going to be nice. Yeah. So I found Rythmia, and it's like, it is like a 5-star resort. And so it's right down her alley, and I got what I wanted. She got what she wanted.
Compromise.
Yeah, so it was a compromise, and she had a great experience when she was here, and I had a really profound experience because I was able to let go of kind of like an identity crisis. I remember a therapist saying to me and asking me several times, you know, whose love did I want the most from, like my mother or father? And I could never really answer that question. I was like, whose love did I want the most? You know, it's like my mom, my dad. And it was just a confusing question. I wrestled with that for a long time. And my experience here 8 months ago was with Mitra. It was the last night, last ceremony, and it's like starts at 7:30 at night, and you go all the way around the clock, and you beat yourself up, and you get battered, and you purge, and you go through all this process. And in the final ceremony, when all the men were around, and they were getting blessings from Mitra and his posse of light workers, you kind of say, and all of a sudden I had this profound sense come over me, and a vision of my brother showed up right in front of my face, and I'm like, what are you doing here? It was like I could touch him. He was right in front of me. Yeah. And I said, what are you doing here? And then he just looked at me, and out behind him came me, a small little version, a 6-year-old little boy of me. And then right then and there, it dawned on me, it's my brother's love I wanted the most. Oh, wow. And I never got it. And that little boy was his, my brother was my idol. So I had this breakdown, and I understood then, and that changed everything. So that was 8 months ago. Wow, that's pretty amazing. Well, that would definitely change your perception on you and life. Yeah. And did you talk to your brother after that? Yeah, I did, and my brother and I were estranged. Oh. So I did call him up, and we kind of connected, and that's been a process. So. Oh, that's good that you started the process. Oh, yeah. That's incredible. Wow. Yeah. So what were the 8 months like for you? Like integrating everything that you learned into the 8 months? Because a lot of people ask about the integration and, you know, how am I going to go back to my life after having all these amazing like tribe members around me that get me, and then I'm going to go back to people that don't get me and a job I don't like, and it just gets a bit much where people, you know, really like upset on the last day. But tell us, how was it for you? Well, I found what happens is you get an awakening while you're here. It's called Jerry calls it a miracle, and that's profound in itself, and that's a big shift. That's a big transformative shift that you go through. But what happens afterwards is kind of like the drip effect. It just keeps giving you little insights and little help. My hand's going off the screen, but little insights and little help along the way, and that's exactly what it's been doing. So it's been guiding me through this process, and it was an interesting story. I wrote an article about it, and I posted on Medium, and it was called Walking into the Fire, because this is what you have to do. You know, if you want to fix yourself, you have to face yourself. You have to go into that scary closet full of monsters and people that your enemies, you know, all live there, and you got to go into that closet and sort everything out. And we all look for comfort in our life, and we try and avoid our pain. We try and avoid discomfort. So we smoke, we drink, we go to the movies, we watch social media, we waste our time with the wrong people. We do all these things to find comfort and not be uncomfortable with really who we are. So when we dive into it, like going into the closet, this is where the real work begins. This is how you fix yourself, and this is how you come out the other side going, well, I'm not that bad after all. I'm actually love myself. I'm pretty cool. Yeah. And you go forward in life with that. And that's was that very first part of that journey. So I wrote the article. And one of Jerry's people saw the article and called me up and said, listen, wow, that's great. I love what you wrote. It's 6 months later, can you write about what it's like now? You know, what's the drip effect? And so I said, well, you know, thank you. It's, you know, that's an honor. You know, I appreciate the sentiment and everything. I said, I'm really busy. And he said, no, we'll pay you. We'll give you something for it. And because I had such a great experience here, I said, okay, I'll do something for Jerry. And they said, well, what do you want? And I just, as a joke, I said, I'll take 2 tickets to Rythmia, 2 more tickets. As you do. Yeah. And he actually said, well, let me call Jerry and I'll get back to you. And I'm like, really? I said, okay. So lo and behold, the phone rings again a couple of days after, and he goes, okay, you're coming to Rythmia. Write the article. It must be an extremely good article that you're going to have to share on here for everyone to read. Yeah, I definitely will. And so the article is How to Wake Up Before You Die. And that was posted on Medium as well, too. It's on my blog. I like that. And that's it. It's about waking up, and this is where you come to wake up. Because in therapy, that's a very long process. Meditation is a very long process. You know, you can die. That I don't recommend it though. But then come back to life, and then you'll get the same wake up that you experience here. But the only other way that I know of that I did it was ayahuasca. Yeah, because it's so powerful at just showing you the truth, like the reality of truth, just like the documentary. Yeah, 100%. Literally. Yeah. Wow. So here you are. 8 months later. And even wilder experiences. Well, give us some pivotal moments from last week, and then we'll get into day by day this week. Okay, so the last week that I was here, I have basically I made some notes because it's very long, and I'll try. Yeah, go for it. So what happened is a lot of my pain and suffering has been something that's about it happened 20 years ago. I started, my wife and ex-wife, we split up. And it was one of those scorched earth disaster divorces. And it took a lot of money and a lot of time. And it just finished after 17 years. It just finished a year and a half ago. So I was constantly in the court system for that time, and I lost my kids in the process, but I never mourned losing them. So Monday night was my first night here 2 weeks ago, and I drank the ayahuasca, and it all came up, and I found myself in a fetal position, purging, crying, sobbing. I was retching even, all this pain that I had stored up inside of me. And guys do this. We put the pain and we go like this, and we suppress it, and we keep suppressing it. We never deal with it because we don't know how to deal with it. So this is what I did, is I had all this built up pain and suffering and anguish inside of me for so long. And what happens is it leaks out. And as much as you think it doesn't, it leaks out in your conversations, your relationships, the way you deal with things, think about things. You know, it muddies all your water. If you have deep pain inside, it muddies your water. That's exactly what happens. And so it muddies your life. And so I was able to, after hours of this, and one of the angels at work here, you know, the support group came and found me because I was hiding around the corner of the Maloka because I didn't want anybody to see what kind of shape I was in. Aww. So I was quietly suffering, and she came, and then she helped me through the process, and it was the most beautiful help I've ever received from anybody. And I was able to forgive myself at the end of the day. You know, at the end of that period of time, I finally forgave myself. I gave myself compassion. I felt love again, and I made it a commitment to reconnect and throw myself, you know, on the sword to reintegrate my children in us. So it was really, really amazing at the end.
Yeah.
It was so liberating.
Yeah.
And this has been following me around for a long time.
Yeah.
So that was the first night. Like, that was big. And if I just left with that, that would have been amazing. Yeah. But then a couple nights later, I actually had a meltdown on the Thursday. Sorry, it was on the Thursday. And that was with the shaman Leo. Mm. And that was the longest evening. And what happened with that is, during the ceremony, at the very end, you sit in a circle and you get blessings and clearings. And just basically, there's more to it than that. But I was sitting there, and then all of a sudden, my heart started really like hurting. Mm. And I just was kind of getting overwhelmed by it. And as soon as I could get out of that circle, I did, and I went and laid on my bed, and then I basically just collapsed again. Mm-hmm. And what it was, I was feeling all the pain that I gave everybody else in my life. Mm-hmm. Because I hurt a lot of people through the years. And was, my current wife, I haven't been the greatest, and, and friends and family and stuff. And like when I said all those things leaked out, well, that was it. All these leaks and all this damage and all this pain and suffering I caused everybody, including myself, all showed up at one time. So there I was again in a fetal position, but now I'm actually in my bed and I'm bawling my eyes out and sobbing. And I made some good friends here during that week. And these guys, 3 guys, really cool guys, all came over to me, hugged me, held me, and made me cry even more, because that was just the most loving thing I've ever experienced. Other men just opening their hearts up. Yeah. And it was just unbelievable. And it took me about 2 hours of releasing. Like, you got to let this stuff go through you, and until you squeeze out the last little bit of hurt and pain, then you feel liberated. And so I felt really at peace with myself. And, it kind of, I made a Santa Claus list of all the people that I need to call and talk to and fix things and say I'm sorry to, and
how beautiful.
Kind of go through that. And so that was really amazing. And that was week 1.
Yeah.
So I had 2 big, massive things.
Lots of forgiveness.
Lots and lots of forgiveness.
Do you feel so much lighter because of, especially forgiving yourself for all those things? That's such a big thing. And especially when you forgive the unforgivable in other people, but ultimately it's forgiving the unforgivable in yourself. And even just having the notion to write the list of people that you want to physically say sorry to, that in itself is healing.
Yes,
on so many levels.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. Seriously.
Yeah.
It's amazing how it takes the medicine to really go into the depths of our soul and to show us who we've truly become, and then just make it so simple that all it takes is a call or just even the intention to say sorry, because people hold on to grudges for fucking years.
Oh, forever.
And it's only like drinking poison expecting somebody else to die, but we're actually dying with it. So it's like, just the medicine gets you back to pure truth, pure love, and it's as easy as just saying, sorry, I fucked up. Yeah. And if people truly love you, they're not going to chastise you. They're just going to say, it's okay, you weren't that bad, and then their soul will just not want you to hurt them again.
Right.
That's it. Yeah. And then it's just so freeing.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was, we put these walls up around us. We put the walls up in front of our scars, and because these scars, we want to protect them. And so normally, through your day-to-day life, you don't go around so open. You stay guarded, and that prevents you from speaking and being your truth, and for forgiving and for being compassionate to yourself and to other people. So ayahuasca, it does is just, here's an analogy. I looked at it this way. So there I'm standing there, and I got all this armor on and all this padding and helmet and all this stuff, like I'm going out to war. And I got my knives and guns and vaporizers and all that stuff, and lasers and all that stuff all attached to me. And I'm walking towards the sun. right? And every step I'm taking, I'm lifting and I'm taking it off and I'm throwing it away and I'm throwing it away. And by the time I get to the sun, I'm actually naked and I walk right into it and I disappear into it.
I love that.
Because this is what you got to do. You know, otherwise you're carrying it, you never let it go, and you go through your life like, what, 80% happy?
Yeah.
Like, who wants to be 80% happy, or 70 or 60 or even 90, even 95? Why not go for the whole 100? Because you can have it.
Yeah, and even just to come here for 1 week and experience what it feels like to feel pure bliss and pure love for yourself, it's just like, that's priceless. I say it all the time. People pay a lot of money to puke and shit here, but what you get is priceless. You know, and as in comparison to a normal vacation, it's the same price, but you literally walk away totally different version of yourself with life skills and just remembering who you truly are. There's no amount of gold or any monetary value that you can put on the healing that you get here.
It's incredible. Like, if this was $20,000, I'd pay it all day long.
People say that all the time.
I like that, and that's a small amount of money. You're talking like, people will give their treasure, their kingdom.
There was a lady who sold everything to get here because she just knew it was her last hope. She was going to commit suicide. She was in an extremely bad situation. I won't get into all the details, but it was just the worst of the worst. If you could imagine, like, being in an environment and having stuff done to you, it was awful. And she knew she needed to get here. She sold everything. She got here and she made a new friend here, ended up moving in with the girl, started a whole new life, started her own new business, and is thriving. So it's like, even if you feel like it's out of your reach, there's always a way. And then moving forward, life will never be the same because you meet people on the same journey and the same path here. So you're going to make new tribe members and new family, right? It's just like those 3 guys.
They're my new best friends, and then they're lifers. I will never not see them.
That's what I find. I came here as a guest in 2016. I'm still the closest of friends with, there was like me and 3 other people in ceremony.
Oh, funny.
I'm still super close to those people. So it's just, and it continues on. It's just, you make friends for life because we go to war together here. We become vulnerable together here. We wake up together here. And so if you're lonely out there, first of all, you're never lonely. If you go inside, you've got lots of little guides that want to talk to you. But if you come here, you'll get more tribe members. You can meet people that are from your area and connect in. It is incredible on so many levels. What you get here, it would just literally change your whole world just being here for a week, seriously. So let's get into this week then, because you've had so much.
I feel like I'm the poster boy right now for this place, because we're talking to everybody else. We're all sharing stuff, and everybody's sharing their stuff. And because I've been here 2 weeks, that's why I feel that way, because I had so many epic breakthroughs. And before I got here, I was like, really watching my diet. I'm basically a vegetarian, vegan. Eat sometimes meat, but very selective what it is. Basically, my mind, I try and keep sharp. I don't watch TV. I do all these things that I try and live on a higher vibration of things that I surround myself with.
That's so important.
It is. And then my meditation, I meditate on a regular basis, about 45 minutes an hour, twice a day. That's my regular practice.
Beautiful.
So coming into here, I was already really ready and set to really do the work, because the whole time I've been here, I've been giving it. I've done 25 shots of ayahuasca in the last 2 weeks. So, yeah, it's in my blood for a while. Yeah. If you cut my vein, it'll pour out. But yeah, the last week was incredible, because I was chipping away at all these things, and you can't get to the next stage, in my mind anyway, till you've done some of your basics. Forgiving yourself. That was a big one. And after I forgave myself, then things changed. So when I went through the pain of myself, and I basically got through most of that, the first night on Monday, I went down the rabbit hole, but I went up, and I actually met God. And there's not the God as a person, a female or a male, or it was God as an energy, and I was in the stars, in this part of the solar system. Neil deGrasse doesn't even take pictures of this stuff like that. It was so spectacularly beautiful. And it was an energy center. I was in the center of the universe where God lives. And I was just in awe, and I was floating back from it. I was just in space and just watching it and feeling like as it was growing, like the energy, the frequency was getting higher and higher. And I was laying in my bed and I could feel my chest vibrate. And then all of me was vibrating to a higher frequency. And if that wasn't enough, all of a sudden I went into the part of that cloud, if you want to call it that. And there was this massive, if you want to say it, it was a womb. And it was one of the most beautiful spaces, like rooms that I've ever seen. But it wasn't really a room, it was kind of a cathedral, kind of like a big onion. And in there, I watched angels being born. And I was watching, it was women mostly that I was watching. They were stepping up onto a platform. And as soon as they stepped on the platform, this light came and they merged with the light. And then they shot up. So they were getting their wings. And I'm watching this and I'm just going, this is the most beautiful thing. And I understood exactly what was going on. And then I went, wait, I'm not here as a spectator. I'm a participant. And I look towards God, and this telepathic voice says, yes, you are an angel. Oh. And then right then I looked down and there was a podium for me to stand on, and I stood on it, and then all of a sudden, wham, my higher self, my spirit, my main angel, call it, star child, came smacking into me. And then right at that point, I went, now I know who I am.
You are an angel.
I am an angel.
You look like an angel.
Thank you. And I knew who I was and why I was here. And then it dawned on me why we're all here. So we're all star children. We're birthed here, but we come from there. And we're here to do the work, to crack ourselves open, to learn the lessons. And this is life school. This is the school of life. And we're here to learn these lessons because we don't remember who we are. So now we need to do the work and grind and go through the pain and the anguish, but come out the other side that cracked open to know that we are truly this and to merge with ourselves. And so it's a process. And this is why we're all here. So when you look at it that way, we're all divine. We live forever.
Yes.
And we just incarnate into this body until we get it right. And this body and that body and this body and that body. And it makes so much sense, and it was so clear, and it was just like, finally, I have answers. What is the meaning of life? That is the meaning of life.
Yes, I got the same download.
Did you?
Yeah, that this is a school. Mine was a little bit different, but I went to the moon and I said, I was so angry. I was like, what the fuck is this pedophilia shit you got going on down there? Like, why? It's so demonic and dark and it's so unnecessary. It made me angry. And the moon just said, darling, that is not where you're from. And she showed me the earth. So I'm standing on the moon, like literally really standing on the moon, like seriously. And I look down and there's earth and it's just in this little web with this little, like, it's on a string. And she goes, I can cut that string anytime. She had such a beautiful sense of humor. She's like, I can cut that anytime. That's not where you're from. That's just your school. You all come back home. But you need to go there to learn the polarity in life. And you need to see these things, to just burst open the light. These things are just literally to bring the light back in you and to remind you who you truly are. And then I was like, oh, okay. I suppose I can put up with it if it's not really real. So, it just made me feel a lot better with all the shit that's going on here.
It's intentional. Yeah. It's built into the game. Yeah. That's the game. The game is we're all sandpaper, and we're just grinding our edges off. But again, you can't get there if you look for comfort. Yeah. You have to walk into it. You have to go through. You have to walk in the fire. You have to go through all that stuff.
I love that. So that was your Monday this week.
Yeah, that was my Monday. Then nothing happened on Tuesday, and then Wednesday we had Sarah with the divine feminine spirit, and that's what the theme of Wednesday nights is. So don't I go back to the same place to confirm that it actually does exist? Like I was there. I was like, it was, everything is in front of me. Nobody could ever talk me out of it, that it doesn't exist, that it's not real. It's a 100%, 1 zillion %. That's the way it is. That's the way it works. You know, don't even bother. You're gonna waste your time trying to talk me otherwise. But what was so cool is that the energy that I felt from the feminine energy was so massive that I thought I was gonna blow up, because it would be like taking 1,000 watts of electricity and putting it through a single incandescent 40-watt light bulb. You know, like boom, it would have blown up. So what happened is that I got to take one step back, because on the first night, there was one other thing that happened after hanging out with God and watching angels being born. The energy was so high, like of learning. I was being downloaded, and the information about how things go. And I know they're being kind to us to keep it very simple, because we're still dragging our knuckles somewhat. Yeah. But I right away ended up right at the void, at the threshold of pure bliss, enlightenment, white light. Like I was standing there, and I knew that all I had to do was lean into it, and I would have dissolved into the ether. And I thought really quick, I went, but what if I don't come back? So that was my hesitation, and it stopped me from committing. And because I already felt so buzzed up and energetic, and frequency was going nuts, I thought that it was probably in my best interest not to overdo it. Right. And I said, okay, I'll be back. Okay. And I said, I'm coming back. So anyway, so that was the Monday night. So now we go back to Wednesday. That feminine energy that I experienced was so like powerful again. Everything is just amazing. Like we have no idea, like trust me, no idea what's out there, how beautiful it is. And so I was floating in that, and then I felt as though that I had to go to the washroom, and I wasn't to throw up or anything, but I just knew that if I didn't go at that point, I might lose my whole thing, my next step, because I wanted to go to enlightenment. So I said, okay, I'm going to go to the washroom, have a pee break. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to get right into it again. So I go to the bathroom, and I'm in the bathroom, and I finish going pee, and I go turn around, and all of a sudden, the walls and the floor start giving out on me. Like I was in the quantum field, right? So everything started disintegrating around. And I wasn't scared. And the floor, next thing I know, I was standing in space. The floor was half there, and it was not half. So just imagine like a car fell through the floor, and there's a big black hole, and you're looking at space. That's what I saw. And I'm like, whoa, that's really amazing and trippy. Yeah. Now I got to make it back to my bed. So I go to walk back to the bed, and one foot was in the reality that we know, and one was in the quantum field. Wow. And I was walking like this, slowly, trying to navigate my way back. And I did. And then when I lay down, I couldn't get myself back to that point of enlightenment. But I just stayed there in the bliss of the feminine energy, and I was so happy. I didn't need to go anywhere. It was so beautiful. I
love that so much. It reminds me of what happened to me once. I went down to the smallest particle. I think I've shared this on here before, but I'll share it again for anyone that's not heard it. So I went down to the smallest nanoparticle that I could ever be, that was inside of me. And I literally was that nanoparticle, and all I was communicating with was love. And all I wanted was to feel love and be loved, and then love was just moving me up the levels. And then it brought me out to the bigger picture of like all the nanoparticles that make me up. And then realizing that all I truly want is love. And the only real communication is feeling and love. And that the mind, the ego, words, meanings, and all that, they get in the way of the true feeling. And so once I like got that, I felt like I was going to explode. And then I went out of this physical realm and went up to a different dimension, and it was literally just pure bliss, pure, amazing, incredible, the most incredible feeling ever. And then I got a taste of it, and then I came back down. So it was like the luminous stage, and then I came back down, and then I'm just like, oh my God, I fucking get it. All we need to do is be good people and operate from unconditional love to get up to the next level of consciousness. Because every single nanoparticle of us, every single thing is just going up the levels, literally trying to get to the next levels. And it was so beautiful when you're in that quantum field, and then that just pure state of consciousness. It just literally opens you up to just knowing that all this is just a movie scene. Like, it's literally just you playing out a movie, somebody coming to you as a lesson, and then you just working with it to practice unconditional love. And just the way I see it now is like, you know, you always act better, or you know, you're always a better person if someone's watching, if there's a camera, or, you know, all that kind of thing. But it's like living life like you're always being watched, because consciousness is just experiencing consciousness. So if you're continually being a good person in every single situation, operating from pure love in every single situation, literally the vibration will just raise higher, and you will keep going up into the levels. Change my fucking world.
It's incredible. And the thing that we have, we are our higher consciousness, call it our angel, whatever, that's looking after us on this physical plane. So it's kind of like guiding, like like keeping you going. So it's like, call it intuition. It's like when you're driving and, you know, you go right, and then they say you got, oh no, I should go left. You know, it's that guidance. It's our higher selves guiding us through this process. So if we listen and we pay attention, then we get quickly, we can get rather, you know, we can move up the ladder.
Because another thing that I saw was literally, so I stopped and I was just staring at somebody, and I was like looking into their eye. It was like looking into the eye of the soul. And then their face became like 5D, like literally came out. It was trippy. And then everybody around me was doing random conversations. Like I could just hear random things happening, but I knew that it was me choosing the possibility that I wanted. So everything just being the best possibility of just the nanoparticles that are all around. If you just choose love, you're going to get the best possibility of the next part. And it's just all just a seamless, like just never ending, like row of particles working and operating from the energy output that you're giving. Profound.
We're much more in control than we think.
Oh, totally.
We are behind the driver's seat of our life. We just don't. We haven't put that information together yet, and it's so hard because who do you listen to? You know, science has always been, you know, they don't believe it until they can prove it, right? And so now science is finally coming around, going, well, you know, that 99.9999999% of that open space in the universe is actually something. It's called consciousness. Oh, would consciousness be love? Well, let's maybe think about that one. But that's exactly what it is. You know?
And like the 95% of our brain space that we don't actually use, you know, it's actually switches on with this medicine. And so it takes us into different levels. It's
my pineal gland is like, I now can turn it on and off at will. I can switch it on, and it gets so big, and it almost pops out of my face.
Do you get that pulsating?
Oh, I get the pulsating. I get the roof of my mouth. I get the
and everybody has the ability to do this. Like, we are not special by any means. Like, we all have this. This is the way I like to describe it, and how Graham Hancock actually, we were conversating, and literally we both totally got it. It was so incredible because if you think about it, way back in Egyptian times, everybody was on a higher level of consciousness. Everybody was, because the leaders and the rulers of the time were raising this with everybody. So it was just the natural way of living. And so that's why everyone's in communication with aliens and buildings, you know, the most amazing pyramids that we can't replicate with today's technology. And then what happens is rulers changed and agendas came in. And then so agendas, different mindsets, not really bothered about, you know, the whole love and higher consciousness thing. And then consciousness starts going down gradually to where we are now, a society with amnesia. Because we don't even know who we truly are, which is why we don't remember the pyramids and the back in the day and how we were back then. But now what's happening is you're drinking this medicine and you're remembering who you truly are. You're remembering your power. And then we're all going back up into consciousness to the point where we will remember, truly remember, and all be on that equal level and equal plane of just pure love. So that's my hope and my understanding. And Graham seemed to totally like
That's
agree.
exactly what I went through. I remember who I am.
Yeah.
You know?
So that was Wednesday night.
Yeah, that was.
What happened Thursday?
So Thursday is probably the biggest shift yet. It just kept on getting better. It's so insane. It's crazy. So here's what happened. Mitra again was the shaman for the final night, the ceremonial night. And when I saw him, I didn't expect him to remember me because that was like 8 months ago. And he looked at me and he goes, "Hey," and he summoned me over, and I went and he gave me a big hug, and he's like, "How are you?" And I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, it was so kind, you know, for him to remember. But he's such a beautiful person. Everybody here is like amazing. And so what happened was, we were drinking yahe, which is a different brew. It's a pergola, so it churns and churns, you know, it's like like what's going on with you?
Yeah,
kind of thing,
so
like
drawing everything out from every cell into your belly to explode from one hole.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And so what happened was nothing. Nothing happened until the very, 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 very end. After all the circles happened, and I had front row seat to the live music, which was amazing. I did this band that's playing. They're not a band; they're just a chorus of. Oh, anyway, so I was watching them because the medicine was wearing off, and I was kind of just soaking in the whole night and just going, "What a beautiful night it was! What an experience! I've been gifted all this stuff. It's been amazing." So, at the ceremony, they just got up, and all of a sudden, I said, "Whoa, here I go!" Like now, I start going down the rabbit hole. All of a sudden, this feeling overcomes me, and I'm laying there, and I just go darker, deeper into place, and I saw this big, massive flesh wound. It was this really ugly, awful, hideous flesh wound that was in me somewhere, and it was this gaping hole of about 4 inches. And I went, why am I seeing this? Why am I seeing this? Like my whole experience, didn't see anything that was grotesque or anything the whole time I've been here. And so the flesh wound started closing up and growing over. And I'm watching this. And then at the same time, I remembered what I said earlier that night. So at the very beginning of the night, Mitra asked everybody one by one, and you share with everybody what your intention of the night is. Like, well, why are you there? Like, what is it you want to get out of the evening? And everybody's going around and saying, oh, I want to grow my heart. I want to heal my heart. I want to have this in my life and don't want that in my life and this and that. And it's all beautiful. Everyone's sharing that stuff. And it comes to me, and I'm like number 40 out of 50 people. And I say, I want to grow my heart, and I want to stop being an asshole. And I went, did I just say that? Like, I out loud to everybody, I said, I don't want to be an asshole. And I thought that was really profound. I said, like, I don't even remember, like, why would I say something like that? Like, I know I could have said, oh, I want to, be more, have self-love, be kinder to myself. But I used that specific term, and it was very derogatory, and I kind of singled myself out in front of everybody. And I was kind of shocked that I did that. And so when I'm laying there in the bed, I remembered I said that. And then I'm watching this flesh wound come to a boil, and then it starts floating down, floating down, floating down. And then until I watched the skin all come back together, and then it was crystal smooth, just like the rest of the skin on that part of the body. And at exactly that same moment, something went, just left.
Wow.
Just left my body. Like, I've always, so with this asshole part, there's always been a side of me I never liked.
Mm.
And this, you know, side of me that made my life very difficult, broke relationships, destroyed business, destroyed people. It's just been this nasty streak. Jerry had the same thing, and this is, you carry this from your childhood. There's a hurt, there's a pain that's so bad, you just go around and inflict it on everybody else.
Hurt people, hurt people.
Exactly, hurt people, and that's what I did. And so now I'm laying there and I don't have this heaviness anymore. This dark spot, this dark thing that followed me around was gone. And I just went, I couldn't wrap my head around it at the very beginning. I thought it was good. It's unbelievable. It's not true. It's not whatever. But because I've gone through everything else, I was going, I believe in everything now. I believe in every possibility. You can throw anything at me now after everything I've seen and done. It's possible, by all means. So I went, it's true. I lost the asshole. The asshole's gone. Yay! And it was like, I felt so incredibly moved. So after the ceremony, I'm like walking around and I'm like, I keep looking for this part, this darkness and this heaviness around. And then I saw one of the other shamans, and she was sitting down in the restaurant. And I asked her, I said, you know, here's my scenario. I said, I've had this darkness my whole life, but my parents told me when I came out of the womb, I came out yelling, kicking, and screaming, and I've been like that my whole life. And she goes, well, did your mother go through trauma when she was carrying you? And I said, yes. She goes, well, that's where it comes from. Totally. Your mother takes that energy, it goes into the baby, and then the baby carries that forward. Or it goes through your lineage. Yeah. And then I went, boom, that explains everything. So now this is why I came to Rythmia in the first place, is to lose the part of me that is constantly in conflict with myself and conflict with everybody else. So but I couldn't get that until I lost everything else. That's the way I think. So it was absolutely phenomenal.
Well done.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Oh my God.
And I love that you made the correlation between the trauma being passed down from like the womb, because there was that lady in the sharing who also said that she was abandoned by her father and felt left out all the time, and then now her baby is always screaming and needy, but she's never been abandoned. But I explained to her the same thing, you know, like it can be passed down in the womb. Yeah. So it's not necessarily your child's problem. It might be something, you know, internally, or it's not your problem, it was your mum's problem. And so this is why sometimes we just don't know what is wrong, but we have a deep knowing that something is just not right. Yeah. And then so coming and drinking the medicine, she gets to the root cause and can show you. She can even take you back to the womb. I've been back in the womb, like you were saying. It's like you can just go back in there, send shitloads of love out to your mum, and literally heal it from when it first happened. Very profound.
It is. It's so amazing. Like I said, it's my life now has changed, and as a result, I've made immediate changes in my life. I'm not going back to the career that I had because it's not heart-centered.
I love that. What was the career?
Well, I've got a contracting company back home. I've been in the restaurant bar business my whole life, and so that's always something I've kind of always floated around, had quite a few of them. But that's not heart-centered. That's not serving. You know, and we're here to serve. That's why we're on this planet.
And you're going to write a book.
And I'm going to write a book. And the people that know me think my life is so whacked for all the things I've gone through, much like Jerry. And they've said you got to write a book about this.
Totally.
But what happened to is I was downloaded as I was laying there. It was all downloaded: how to write the book, how to format it, how to put it together, what to call it, and it's going to be called "How to Wake Up Before You Die."
Oh, I love that. I can't wait for that to come out. You'll have to let us know, because that will be so epic to read.
Oh, it's going to be.
And who knows where that would take you. You know, if you've made that conscious decision to leave your career behind, who knows? Like, if you followed your true calling, abundance, health, true wealth, like everything comes for you.
And this is it. It's about being aligned, right? So it's being aligned with your purpose. you know, being aligned and having an intention and being centered in that, in your heart. And when you have all that alignment, which I'm going back to do because my purpose is to help other people. Yeah. And it's to write that book, and it's to go out and teach and talk about it and share it and get as many people as I possibly can to come to Rythmia.
You should come back as a thought leader.
I'd love to.
Yeah, so you get your book pumping and then get back here and like, how amazing would that be to like come and speak at the place that really like helped you open yourself up to this. I love that. Rebirth.
Yeah, it was like a rebirth.
Oh my god, that's so amazing. So how about breath work? How have you found breath work?
Oh, breath work. So what I did is, because I wasn't 100% convinced that the asshole left me, I went and did breath work that night. And then the intention was with the breath work is to get any tiny little bit of the residue left and get rid of that through breath work. And I was totally confirmed it's all gone because I breathed through it, and I didn't find really anything except for a little crumb, and that satisfied me. But the breath work is amazing because people have those experiences the same that you get on ayahuasca.
Yeah, because you're producing DMT in your lungs, and my visions are just as epic breathing, doing it the right way as they are on Aya. And I always say it's like it's another door to the same source. It's like your breath work, meditation, yoga, ayahuasca, all doors to the same source, which is the true you. So you've got loads of options, but breath work is super powerful. We even do breath work weeks here. We've got one coming up with just breath work and with Greg Braden as the thought leader. So
oh my God, I gotta come. I love that guy.
You gotta come.
Oh my God. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he is an absolute legend. If you haven't heard of Greg Braden, Google him. He's an absolute, it's incredible. And this week we've had amazing thought leaders. We have had Adam Markle and his beautiful wife, Randy, who've been talking about the 7 pillars of building successful and resilient relationships. And it's been absolutely incredible. If you haven't heard of Adam, Google Adam Markle TED Talk. He's really profound, and he's just such a beautiful man. I was with him in the ceremonies, and yeah, just beautiful, beautiful. And him and his wife have built a beautiful relationship together and now share their wisdom with the world. So check them out. Let's see. Can we show them your tattoo?
Oh, tattoo. So.
Check this out. So Meg, the chef, Meg, her husband, baby father, partner, he's a tattoo artist, and like loads of people went out and got little tattoos done, and I just think it's amazing. I really love it. It looks like a little alien ship with the alien thing and then the wings. Amazing. Yeah,
Laura.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And he wants to get more. So one more question. What would you say to somebody sitting on the fence? Like if somebody is just not sure and they're watching this and they're still not kind of sure about taking the plunge, because it can be scary facing your fears and being shown who you become, what would you say?
Well, first off, ayahuasca, there's places that you can do it. None of them are like this. None of them are safe like this. This is a gated facility inside of a gated facility. Yeah. You know, because it's the Marriott Resort property, and it's gated to get in, and then it's gated to get into this property. So, and then there's security around all the time, which is super safe. There's a doctor, there's nurses, there's a little medical facility that's here. Everybody's on hand. There's beautiful people that work here like yourself that put this incredible storyline together for you. The food is like the best you can ever ask for and super, super healthy. Everybody speaks really fluent English. You know, you're picked up from the airport. There's nothing you have to do except for buy a ticket and come here, and you're completely pampered and looked after. Top line facilities that are here, like the gym is awesome. You know, the steam bath, the mud room, you know, then the colonics, which I really recommend you do when you come here and go through every single day and clean out the pipes, because a lot of emotions sit there. And backed up, and years of emotions sit inside of you. And so you clean that, you detox, you look after yourself, you eat well here, and then you do the work and you put your head down and do the work. It's not a holiday or picnic. This is to change your life. And you will change your life, guaranteed. If you do that, you will get the most, like again, like you cannot, all the money in the world is not worth it. Like, this is the real thing. And so that's the physical part about this. The mental, the barriers is that we get stuck in ruts. We stick in our comfort zone, and we think, oh, you know, it's just okay. This is a passing thing. But we just go around like a record. I keep moving my finger off the screen. So we go around like a record in our life, and it's the same music all the time. And once in a while, the needle will jump to the next line, and we'll go around and around, and we kind of bump around in our life without truly being completely happy. And so if you're one of those people that you know you could be happier and you want your life to be a little bit different, this is a very small investment. Money-wise, it's pittance. Stop drinking Starbucks coffee for a few months and you'll pay for your ticket. Like, honestly.
It's true.
Yeah. and do that, because this is worth it. This is so worth it.
On that note, there was an amazing man who he posted a video in the Rythmia group, I believe it was, and he's got this, some of you may have seen it, it's the most epic vision board I've ever seen, and then he's got a little fund box that says Rythmia Fund, going to meet Jerry. And then he's got like this amount that he wants to get, and then like he's just putting like $20 in like every now and then, and it just will build up totally. I mean, for me, I think a swear jar would probably get me here in a week. So just like think about like little unique ideas. Once you make the decision, the medicine starts working with you. It's just the way it works. The medicine starts working with you. Even start a GoFundMe. There was a gentleman who came here and he wanted to do the Send Free, Heal Free, and wanted to get back here. And he started a GoFundMe, and he literally raised $5,000 within a couple of days by 3 past guests who he'd never met, because Rythmia tribe love each other and we become family. So just like, you know, put your story out there and say, I really want to get there. Can anybody help me? You know, things like that. Like, just think outside of the box, and then just trust that the medicine is going to be weaving her magic as well. And there was another lady who said that she couldn't afford to come, and then she got a letter through the door, I've said this before, but from her tax man, who gave her the exact amount that she needed to get here. So just believe in miracles before you get here. Seriously, belief is powerful. Just trust that once you make the choice to get here, it's going to happen one way or the other. And there's law of attraction with massive action. So you can wish it, but like start doing things to show the universe that you really mean it. Start like thinking outside the box, and then watch it all like transpire, and then you'll be here hugging me in no time. It's going to be epic.
Yeah, it's really simple to start putting away some change.
Yeah, and just, yeah, for example, if you buy cigarettes, if you can't stop smoking cigarettes, but put the exact amount that you're spending on the cigarettes in a jar, and then by the time you get here and have saved up the money, you would have quit anyway when you get here, because loads of people that come here actually end up quitting cigarettes and things that just are not truly aligned with you. So there's another thing. You got anything else you want to share before we wrap up?
Well, that was a lot.
Yeah, you did good.
Yeah,
you're amazing.
I did get a lot more than I ever thought possible. Yeah.
You did, and it's so incredible that you came back 8 months later, and I can't wait for the next article to come out either. So definitely add that to this, and then when the book comes out, we'll promote it. Thank you. Seriously, and I really want you to keep me informed of how it all goes, because seeing your journey unravel and seeing you so excited in ceremony telling me about the angel platforms and everything was incredible. Thank you so much. Ken from Canada, everybody. Oh, you're epic. Thank you for that.
And I'm going to, when I go home, I'm going to move 3 hours away and help a friend of mine build a spiritual retreat. Yeah. And that's where I'm going to start teaching.
Well, there you go.
He's asked me to, so. Yeah.
See how it all unfolds?
It does. It's all, if I threw a deck of cards and I threw them up in the air, they couldn't have landed any better. Everything is on purpose. Everything that we do, all these things that we do in our life, that all the screw ups and all that stuff, they're there for a reason.
They really are.
They're all lessons. Everything is a lesson.
Yes.
You know?
Even me seeing my cancer as a gift, like seriously, like if you get to that point, You know that you understand like what it's all about. And Ram Dass, the incredible spiritual healer, he says he loves it when suffering comes his way. When he's like in the depths of a suffering moment, he knows it is the best opportunity to grow. Literally. So if you start seeing things as like one door shutting and knowing that another door is always going to open. So one door shuts, it's always going to open. So when that door's shutting, don't get lost and dwell in the poor me victim state. Feel the emotions, rise above it, and just know that upon reflection, you are going to know exactly why that door shut, and you're going to see why, because another door opens. Like everything that's happened to me that I've deemed bad and labeled bad, it's been perfect. Yeah. Everything. Look at me now. I'm like a tree-hugging hippie, loving life at Rythmia. I needed all this crazy trauma to get to this point. So just start switching your mind, shift around, and shift your idea about what's going on, and change the story in your head from victim to goddess, god, warrior, light worker. So let's check some comments before we go. Justin, dealt with chronic pain for 11 years before running into a wall with it. See you April the 28th. Hope you can help. I really need it. Well, we're really good here at helping, and the medicine loves chronic pain cases, so you're coming to the right place. Creative Intuitive, hello, I like that name. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Maria. Hi, Claudia. Hi, Prudy. Creative Intuitive said, connection with your Kundalini energy, for sure. Creative Intuitive, you're onto it today. Can you share your blog, please?
It is gofindyourself.ca.
Cool.
Not go fuck yourself, but it's go find yourself, but that's the irony in it. It's the funny part about it.
I like that. Hi, Satu. Jeremy. Hey, Jeremy really wants to come here. You're going to be here in no time at all. Stano.
I like that. Justin Franco. Wow, my first ceremony might not be fun. Might be healing, but might not be fun. You're right. It's probably not, but that's it. It's kind of like, like...
Define fun.
Well, even in relationships, it's like... Everybody's our Buddha maker, So if you're in a relationship, the easy thing to do is walk out of a relationship, And the work is staying in it and seeing through your pain and the other person's pain and going through that. And it's like all things in life. It's the walking away is the easy part. So coming here is the hard part. But once you get through this, then all the easy stuff shows up.
Totally. You have to face your fear. You have to feel the fear and do it anyway. You have to go through it. Otherwise, you're going to be held back by fear and shit that just isn't real. Just like a construct of your mind. Like, stop it. Get out of your own way. And like literally just know that everything that you want and you feel that you deserve, that happiness and love, it's on the other side of that fear. So, just knowing that you're going to be getting the most amount of healing here, and don't worry about whether it's going to be fun or whether it's going to be rainbows, fairies, unicorns and all that, because nobody really knows like what anything actually is. Like defining a word like fun, that's just somebody's definition of it, and then somebody labeling a night good, somebody labeling a night bad. We have to remember that there are no labels like that. Everything is just what is. And what the medicine wants to give you is exactly what you need. She's a mother's energy. So there's no need to fear her. She's just going to get you back to the best version of yourself. So come and have all the healing that you deserve. In what way, shape, form it comes. It's going to be epic. Creative Intuitive. So glad you've got this experience. Hey, Metzger. I saw Brody on here too. Hey, Brody. Can't wait to have you back. And Paloma, I miss you. And Jean. Doreen, wow. Gwen, hello, Gwen. We missed you too. Daniel Hunt, the dome. Denise, that is so beautiful. Daniel, I must keep reminding myself of this. Do you want to say something?
I'm sorry, what's that? Which one are you reading?
Oh, this one. I must keep reminding myself of this.
Yes.
Melissa, I love you, and you're here, so that's epic. I'm going to hug you any second. Daniel Hunt, I love you too. That's the game. Hey, Russell, miss you lots.
And you have to enter Eden
naked. Yes, you do. Hey, Steph, miss you so much. Hey, Jana, miss you too. Hey, Elias. Oh, it's all the past guests coming on. I love this. The fifth dimension of love is a frequency that you can tune into, totally. So what I say all the time is like, we are a radio transmitter. We're just on one frequency at the moment. But with our intention and our awareness, we can change the frequency, change the dial to a different level of listening and understanding. Just like, you know, listening to your higher self and just tuning in to a different dimension.
And Mason, yes, I think we did meet.
Ken, didn't we meet last time? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Daniel is on it. To be able to project into the six and actually walk in paradise, insists on using the tools and techniques without the substance. Oh. Yeah, because we all have the ability. We totally do. Tay Edgar. Hey, Edgar. Levi, I just promoted you and your epic tattoo skills. Levi is Meg's baby father partner, and he's epic. He just done my sister a tattoo. Wrong one. There we go. Yeah, that's the next one. This is the next spot.
Yeah, right here.
So yeah, if you come here and you fancy a little onk tattoo, he's your man. He's epic. He done my sister the best back tattoo ever, and he's just a legend. Edgar, hello, love. Hi, Edgar. I miss you so much. You're such a beautiful soul. Mary Alice, miss you too. Here we go. Daniel's onto it. Integrating the shadow is important work. Shadow work is the way of the heart warrior. Yes. Daniel, you're epic. Andrea, we miss you. She's saying hi to Jana. Justin, I think I'm going to get my ass kicked for a week in May. Yes, you are. It's going to be the best ass kicking you've ever had.
Worth every
just everything. Best ass kick ever. Andrea, I love you. I love you too so much. I promise I'm doing more yoga videos for my YouTube channel. It's just life seems to, weeks just seem to roll into
great yoga instructor.
Yeah, I do love teaching yoga, but I'm getting told off by so many people because they want more yoga videos from me.
Everybody
I know, I'm getting like hearts all up my nose right now. Thanks, love, love, love. So I promise you, I have a week off. We have a week off here at the last week of April. Instead of flying all over the world like I do, I am going to stay here. I'm going to film loads of yoga videos, and they're going to be on my YouTube channel. I promise. It's just that weeks roll in, you know how busy it gets here. It just keeps rolling. So Denise says, I love that tattoo. Yeah, Levi is a very good tattoo artist.
Sorry I couldn't find it there, but
Prudy, time for a return visit. Can't wait for your book. Oh, Prudy's lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah, get back here. Kristen, I'm aiming for my birthday week. Yes, get here, love. We love you. Justin, okay, I'm looking forward to getting my ass kicked. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. Trust me, I'll hug you straight after. It'll all be fine. Balance. So, Jennifer, thank you so much for sharing. So profound. Watching you, Candice, helped me reconnect with the experience I had in June 2018. Still going strong. Yeah, connect back in. Like, I do have a YouTube channel that has videos of me following me around. I'm a bit behind because life's just happening fast right now. But also just connect into yourself. Like, connect into the meditations. Connect into the ceremony music. Like, have reminders as well. And these lives are really good at that. So I'm really glad that that's helping you. That's my aim. Justin, and when I do, I'll come give you a big hug. See, great minds think alike. We're going to hug it out after that ass kicking. So thank you so much for joining us. This was so good. You're so eloquent at speaking.
Oh, thank you.
Very easy, darling. Oh. And I can't wait to read your book. And so thank you so much for joining us. I will be here next week. If you haven't read Jerry's book, Shit the Moon Said, go check it out on Amazon. It's also in an audio version. Mrs. Moon's Medicine is free on YouTube. We also have The Reality of Truth free on YouTube. Thrive 2 is coming out and The Medicine are coming out. Not sure when, but I promise I'll let you know. Love, 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 love you all. See you later. Look at his little angel beard.